Good morning. It is Friday, May 21st. I'm just going to do a general garden update. We have a lot of cool things going on. Some new things have emerged that I'm really excited about. So yeah, come along. I'm going to start in the back of the vegetable garden along the wall of the basement. We've planted a hosta. We've got, I think these are Gerber daisies or autumn daisies. I can't quite remember. Those will come up in the fall. I've got 2 petunias as well as a nasturtium, which will hopefully climb up this little trellis here. As I pivot, you can see all of the sunflowers. I've got a mix of tall orange sunflowers that look not like a traditional sunflower. They kind of look like a big pom-pom. And then I've got in the back they're called the I think giant mammoth sunflowers. They're huge and they look like a traditional sunflower, but look like a dinner plate in terms of how large the flower is. Sprinkled along in between them, you can see all the tiny little green there. Those are zinnias of a couple different colors. I think we've got purple, red, and pink. And then in the front, I've dotted in some petunias that look really pretty, just so we have some color for now. In the back corner, I have a catmint plant and then a salvia right there. We can head over to this long bed here. I'm calling it the tomato bed because it will have tomatoes. It's currently housing 4 different varieties of kale. These guys are red boar kale. We've got the dinosaur kale, a scarlet curly kale, and a dazzling blue, and then at the end in the sun there is the spinach. Moving over to this bed has a pretty exciting find in here. This is my Fiesta variety of broccoli, and you can see if you hover over that you've got little baby broccolis. Most of the plants have these little tiny baby broccolis, and I'm really excited about this. We also have another dazzling blue kale and spotted in a couple of extra Brussels sprouts that we had no other room for. But yeah, every single broccoli plant has a baby broccoli in the middle. Super stoked about this. Here's another one. This one's really big. I'm so excited about this. Look at that. Oh, I believe the yellow jackets are trying to make a home in there. Please don't do that. As much as I have a love-hate relationship with the yellow jackets, they kill other pests, but they also sting you if you're near their hive. So I'd rather they not make their hive directly into a bed, because then they will attack you if you're near it. So what happened to me last year? Not the best situation. Anyway, moving on. This bed here is a potato bed. I have dark red Norland potatoes as well as Yukon Gold potatoes. I believe I had full germination of all of the potato seeds that I put in, which is great news. I may have too many close together upon, I guess, thinking about it. There may be too many in here, but I do kind of want them to be sort of small potatoes, where we tend to do like little roaster potatoes, so maybe that'll be the outcome, hopefully. But yeah, looking really great. First year growing potatoes. I'm really happy with what we've got going so far. I'm going to turn around to our carrot and beet bed. We've got 3 different varieties of carrots and 3 different varieties of beets. These carrots here all just got thinned out so that they're about 2 inches apart. So yeah, we just recently did that. The ones to the left are actually a mix. They're called a kaleidoscope mix from the Territorial Seed Company. Those guys, I think, are, if I can remember, there's purple carrot, red, or purple, orange, and white, and yellow. There's a variety of colors in this mix. We have white carrots in the middle, and then at the end we have this carrot called New Kuroda from Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company, which is supposed to be really yummy, sort of best in its class for taste or for flavor, so I'm excited to try that. It's kind of a deeper orangish red. And then to the right of the bed here, we've got beets. Closest to me, there's a grouping of a mix of beets that have classic red, sort of a pink, like target shaped one when you cut it crosswise, and golden beets. That's just kind of a mixed seed packet. Then in the center, we've got classic red beets, and then at the far end, we've got golden beets. In these pots here, we've just got classic cabbages. I only have a few cabbages just because we don't eat cabbage too often. I try to plant, you know, as much as we will eat, or at least make sense for the family. So 5 cabbages should be plenty for us. Behind the cabbages is the main Brussels sprouts bed. These guys are going to be growing for a while. They have quite a long growth period, like it's like over 140 days or something like that. So they're going to be in this bed for a while. So I also placed some petunias in this bed. I'm just trying to give every opportunity for pollinators to be attracted to the area and get what they need. This sort of lame showing is snap peas. They, for some reason, are not happy. I'm not quite sure why. They're not as happy as the guys across for them, which are also snap peas. I'm not sure if there's a quality in the bed, soil in the bed, or the lighting. I'm not quite sure. But the snap peas on the opposite side, if I'll come around so you can see better, are growing up very nicely. Don't have any flowers quite yet. All of these guys here are kale that has bolted, meaning it sent up its flowers. Once kale is bolted, it's not the tastiest. All the nutrients and energy go towards reproduction, and the leaves become sort of bitter, but I like to leave them and let them go to bolt, again, because it provides another source of nectar for the pollinators. And the chickens love to eat this kale, so when I pull it up, I just give it to the chickens. Behind the kale over here is our long strawberry bed. We started with 4 strawberry plants last year, and as is the nature of strawberry, they shoot out and form like daughter plants. So most of these guys, I think, are daughter plants. I don't actually think the mother plants survived from last year. I can't really remember. I pulled them out in March. But they're looking happy. We've got a ton of fruit on them. It's not ripe yet, but we do have a ton of berries that are going to mature. We're also working on covering them with some chicken wire and these hoops, because we did have an issue last year with pests eating the berries before we picked them. So that's what this little project is here. This row of buckets contains cauliflower, looking really healthy. I don't think I've seen any baby cauliflowers on them. I can't quite tell. I don't think so. There might be the beginnings of one in there. These went out into the garden a little bit later. They were slower to grow. I just pulled out some kale here. I'm going to be replacing lettuce here, and then when the butternut squash get mature enough, they're going to go in here. And then eventually, because they'll grow, they'll replace the lettuce, but I try to always have things in the beds and rotate out my crops so that way I'm not wasting space. So this is currently, to me, like wasted space. So I'm going to try to get some lettuce in here today. One of the more beautiful new findings or new developments are these snow peas. I'm trying to get around so you can see them better. The flowers on these plants are gorgeous. I had no idea that they were going to be this vibrant fuchsia flower. They look like miniature orchids. They're so beautiful. So these guys are snow peas on either side of this trellis here. And they have, you know, been, I guess, fertilized. I noticed a couple of them that are sort of wilting away do have baby peas forming in them. So really, really excited about that. You know, we've attracted the pollinators, they found them, and we're gonna have the peas to eat soon. This bed to the left has actually a bunch of things in it. Not only does it have the snow peas here, there's a row or 2 little rows of radishes, just a classic red radish. In the back there's 4 rows of turnips. I've got 2 different varieties of turnips there. Then I've got a sort of, what do you call this, like a spring mix lettuce. The seeds like come as a mix. And then I've got a curly endive, a classic romaine lettuce, and then I've got some arugula, which has gone to bolt. Arugula is not, doesn't really like the hot weather. Again, leaving the things to bolt for the pollinators. I've actually found that I've had a particular trouble with slugs this year, which is, I guess I'm watering things too much, but I found slugs in this bed, which I was really actually kind of surprised about. That hasn't been something that's been an issue in the past. Anyway, these guys are another variety of broccoli called Waltham. I'm just trying out different varieties. The Waltham that I planted last year weren't successful, but that was not due to the variety, that was due to cabbage worms eating them when they were too young to be able to fend them off. So I'm just trying out 2 different varieties of broccoli. This one might, yep, I can see a teeny tiny little broccoli there. So these guys are a little slower than the Fiesta broccoli, but I think part of that is that they're in pots. I mean, obviously most of the plants I've found do better in the ground or in a bed, but you know, you still get something to harvest from these guys. I just want to highlight really quickly our 3-bin compost system. This is where the newest, least decomposed material goes. Then once it breaks down and sort of shrinks down about halfway, I put it in this middle bin for it to further decompose, and then by the time it gets to the last bin, it's pretty much ready to go on a bed. So this is the vegetable garden. I'm pretty excited with how it's looking. I forgot to note, I've got sort of sprinkled around, there's a salvia there, there's nasturtium in the back corner. Not too much flowering yet in here, but hopefully soon they'll be coming up in time for all of my fruiting vegetables like my tomatoes and my peppers.